Hi friends, welcome to my channel, and today in this video I'm going to show you how to configure WinRM service over HTTPS protocol on Windows Server. So since we know there are two methods for configuring WinRM. First we can configure on HTTP, which is going to be unencrypted communication between servers, and there is a second method where we can do the encrypted communication through WinRM over the uh, over the network for the two or more servers. So for first thing, the requirement is to configure HTTPS is the very basic thing. We require a certificate to configure communication, which is going to be encrypted by SSL certificate. So in this video, I'm going to install Active Directory certificate service on my Active Directory itself. That is going to work as uh, a certificate authority, enterprise certificate authority. But if you have a external authority, you can get the certificate from external authorities also, CA also. But in this video, I'm going to focus on having our own infra, uh, CFI in our own infra. So let's go and see. There are some important notes. Why we need a WinRM? What is going to be a benefit for HTTPS, and what are the other basic things? So by default, WinRM uses Kerberos for authentication. So Windows Server never send their password for system request validation. So basically, whenever you do the authentication via WinRM, the password is not going to be used. The servers use basically Kerberos to get the authentication, same as Active Directory do. So and the second, you can see these settings by these WinRM get WinRM config command. So we'll see these commands in detail. So the purpose of configuring WinRM over HTTPS is to encrypt the data being sent across the wire. So basically, this is what I said in previously. So whenever you have configured HTTPS, the data whatever is going to travel is going to be encrypted. So when WinRM requires HTTP require a local computer server authentication service, we are going to see how we can configure this and all with the CN matching to the host name to be installed. So if you are trying to use the HTTPS, basically certificate must require a CN name matching to the host name where this certificate is installed. So basically, if you have thousands of servers or hundred of servers, you need each servers require their unique CN name, which is matching to host name. So basically, each service require its own certificate, which has host name mentioned as a C name, CN name. So we'll see that also. And the certificate must not be expired, revoked, or self-signed. If you are using self-signed certificate, it's not going to work uh, for the WinRM HTTPS. And by default on Windows Server Letter operating system, Windows HTTPS use the ports uh, HTTP use 5985 and HTTPS use 5986. Earlier it was using port 80 and 443. You can see this configuration by this listener command. And if you have more than one local computer account server certificate, confirm the certificate thumbprint displayed on the listener configuration are same what you have configured with the WinRM HTTPS to use. So we'll see these all commands in the action while we are configuring and checking the Windows WinRMS service over HTTPS. So let's move to the next phase, which is my lab environment. So this is what my lab environment has. So it got one Active Directory server, one Windows Admin Center, and three Hyper-V hosts. So basically, in this video, I'm going to focus on three servers, which is my domain controller, WAC server, and admin server, and the one Hyper-V. So these two WAC server and Hyper-V one is going to work as a member server, where we are going to test the WinRM service over HTTPS. And then there is a Active Directory server, which we are going to configure as a root CA. So let's verify this. So this is my AD server, which is Win2K 22 DC domain controller. My domain name is labscienceon.com. So this is domain controller, and this is my WAC server, Windows Admin Server. This is a plain machine which is joined in domain. And then I got a one Hyper-V host, which is again joined to domain. So I got my domain controller. So if I show you, I got one of my domain controller, and then I got few member servers. So we are going to deploy this configuration by using group policy and few other things where you need to do a few things related to Active Directory and group policy. So let's do the installation and configuration step by step. The commands and steps which we are going to perform. So very first step is check the WinRM service status. So while configuring WinRM, you must need to know if the WinRM service is running or not on the service and all. So there is a command you can always check by going to services also. So it's on DC itself. I'm going to validate. So if you go here under here, you can see the service is running. So Windows Remote Management, WS Management Service is running. So if you see here, this is Windows Remote Management, which is WinRM, implements management protocol to remote management and all. So if you want to see through command prompt also, you can see. So I'm going to launch my PowerShell as admin, and then I'm going to type WinRM quick config, quick config. So you can see the WinRM service is already running on this machine. WinRM is ready to set up remote management. So this is good. So now next step, you will see check the WinRM listener configuration. So because we want WinRM to work on HTTPS, so we want to see basically what is the current listener configuration. So I'll go ahead and run WinRM E. This command I'm going to give in comment a description so you can pick up from there if you want. Configs listener. So if you see here, the current thing address is star means it's listening from uh, everyone, and the port transport protocol HTTP, and this is the port number which I mentioned, and the host name enabled true, the suffix certificate thumbprint is nil, and then listening on what are the IPs where it's listening. So this is the server IP where is it, and this is IPv6. So as of now, you can see WinRM is service is running, and this is listening on port uh, 5985, which is HTTP. So now we need to configure this WinRM service to work on HTTPS. So let's do this. So first thing, we require a certificate authority which is going to issue the certificate because whatever communication is going to be done here from the one server to another server over the HTTP require a certificate. So as I said, we are going to use the internal CA server. So I'm going to install the next step basically, which is going to be a install enterprise root CA authority server role on the domain controller. So I'm using domain controller here, but if you're doing this on production environment, I recommend to go ahead and create a brand new server for certificate authority role only. So I'm going to select here certificate authority, Windows Active Directory certificate service, and then click next, and then click next, and next. And I'm going to install certificate authority only. So click next and then install. So this installation is going to take few seconds. So now the installation is done. I'll go ahead and configure this certificate service. So From here, you can see here now ADCS is available. I'm going to click on configure, and now I'm going to use my admin account to configure this role on this service, and then I'm going to select certification authority, click next, and then this is going to be enterprise CA. So must be a domain member typically online to issue certificate and certificate policy. So this is good. Click next, and this is going to be a root CA. So next, and specify the private key. So create new private key. We are going to do it, and then I'm going to leave options default here. So just click on next, and then this is going to be a CN name for this certificate, which is going to be installed on certificate authority server. So click next. And this is fine. Go ahead with 5 years and almost done. Just we need to click on configure. So it will. So now you can see certification authority configures. That's it. So this is good. Now if I go here and open the tools certification authority, you will see this option. So now this is good. We have successfully installed the root CA. Now we need to create a custom certificate template for WinRM. So WinRM is basically we need to go in templates, and from here we need to right click and go to new, and then certificate template to issue, and then we need to select basically we need to click on manage. So it will open this thing certificate template console. Then we need to click on web server, and then we need to click on duplicate template, and here you can configure the settings. So what I'm going to do, certificate authority is going to be 16, click OK, and then certificate recipient is 16. So I have everything running above 16, so I'm fine with this. And then I need to go to journal, and then I can type some name to recognize this is a uh, WinRM SSL. So I'm going to put here WinRM SSL. You can modify these settings also if you want to put something extra like validity period and renewal period and all these things. So I'm going to change this small thing here, and then this is good. Uh, I think we are good. We need to click on CN name, and then this is very critical step. So here we need to select build from the Active Directory information. And this is the subject name, CN name basically. So CN name, we need to select common name, and then we need to click on DNS. So since there is a requirement for HTTPS, the CN matching to the host name to be installed. So basically host name, DNS name is the host name is going to be host name for the servers. And then we have selected the common name. So this is good. And now we need to go to security, and to which all basically computers or servers you want to add. So we can go ahead and type here domain computers. I'm going to check this domain computers, and here we need to check on enroll and auto enroll. So this is good. So now I click apply. Okay. So now you see here WinRM SSL is available. This is good. So if I refresh this, basically I need to do one more setting here. So since I want this certificate to be installed on my domain controllers also, so I'll go ahead and add my domain controller also. So domain controllers, and then I'm going to check enable and auto enable. So this is good. Click OK. Now we are done with this. I can go ahead and close this. And now we can go here and new and certificate template to issue. And we can select our WinRM SSL, which we have just created, and click OK. Now you will see here a certificate basically is a template is created. So now we are good from this side. Now we can go ahead and basically do further step, which is create GPO object, group policy object for certificate auto enrollment on member server. So this is one of the critical steps. So now let's do this. So I'll go ahead. Here we need to create a few GPOs. So I'm going to create first GPO, call it WinRM SSL. So I'll go ahead and open my group policy management. And then I'm going to expand my domain. And here I'm going to click on group policy objects. So new. So this is going to be a WinRM SSL. Click OK. So now I'm going to select this and edit. So now for certificate auto enrollment, we need to go to policies. Under policies, we need to go to Windows settings, and under Windows settings, security settings. Here we have public key policies. If I go here, you will see certificate service client auto enrollment. So this is not configured. I go ahead and configure this and make sure you tick both of these. Just click apply and OK. So now this is good. So this is good. If I go here and now if I see settings, these settings are reflected here. If you see automatic certificate management is enabled. So this is good. Now the next thing which we need to do, we need to configure firewall to allow WinRM. So I'll go ahead and click here firewall rules. Let's say if you have existing group policy to allow or block firewall rules, you can directly go there and configure it. If you don't have, you can create a separate also. So I'm going to click here, security settings, and then Windows Firewall, advanced settings, then expand this, inbound rules. So I'm going to create here basically ports. On the ports, I'm going to type my port number for HTTPS, which is going to be a 5986. So this is what we need to do. So 5986, and it has to be a TCP. Click next and allow connection. And here you need to make sure you are allowing only domain. So click next and you can call it WinRM port and just click finish. So this is good. Now we have WinRM SSL policy and firewall policy. The next thing what we are going to do, we are going to enable this WinRM service, and then we are going to make sure the WinRM starts automatically, and then enable WinRM over HTTPS by scheduled tasks. So these are the two tasks which we need to do. So first thing, so I'll go ahead and create one more GPU, call it WinRM only, and let's create here. I'll go and click on edit. Now go to policies, Windows, and then I need to go here, and then software restriction, not here. So system services, and then you need to search for Windows. So WinRM, and here it is, Windows Remote Management, and define it needs to be configured to automatic, and click apply and OK. So now whatever servers this policy will go, it will make sure the WinRM service automatically going to start. And then the next thing, we need to create a scheduled task to start the uh, basically put the configure this thing, what you call enable the WinRM over HTTPS. So there is no way to in a group policy to tweak this setting to for the WinRM to work over. enable the HTTPS for WinRM. So for this, we need to run this basically command. I need to run this command over the member machines, member servers to enable the HTTPS over WinRM. So since if you have thousands of machine or hundreds of machine, you cannot do it manually. So we can go ahead and create the scheduled tasks for the machines to run this command whenever they get started. So for this, in same policy, this and from preferences, I'm going in control panel settings, and here we got scheduled task. So I'll go ahead and create immediate task at least Windows 7. So this is for, and I'll call it, let's say WinRM over, call it over HTTPS, and then I'll change this account from this to system. And now this scheduled task basically is going to run with the system account. So in the actions, I'll go ahead and create new, and I'll go ahead and put the start a program basically. And the path is going to be this for WinRM CMD. So I'll go ahead and go to System, Windows, System 32. Under System 32, we got WinRM CMD. So this is the command, and I need to add some argument here. So argument is going to be like this, which I mentioned here. So it's going to be a quick config transport HTTPS. So I'll go ahead and copy this, and I'll go and paste it here. So this is good. I'll go ahead and click OK. So this is ready. So click OK, apply, and that's all. So now basically we got three GPUs, one for SSL enrollment, one for enabling WinRM service and making sure the WinRM over HTTPS is enabled. So I'll go ahead, you can see the settings. So here we enable the auto enrollment. In this, we have enabled the, okay, one second, I think I need to refresh this. Now you will see here we have enabled the created this uh, uh, basically scheduled task. This is good, and also we have changed the startup mode for WinRM to automatics. This is good, and then we got one firewall rule for WinRM HTTPS port, which is 5986. So this is good. I'll go ahead, and these group policies are not mapped to anything, so I'll go ahead and map here. So link to existing group policy, and I'll add all three and just click OK. So now this group policy is added. So this is good. Now I'll go ahead and reboot my machines, member machines basically. So restart. I'll go ahead and restart this also. So it will take a few seconds to come up. So now we are good. So now if I go here and log into server, member server basically, so I can go ahead and validate now my SSL first. So I'll go ahead and click MNC, and I will verify the certificate first. So if I go add snipping certificate and computer account, click on finish, click OK. And then if I go in personal, you will see here this certificate is issued, and CN name you can match the issue to the host name which we have, and then issued by our domain controller certificate authority. And this is certificate server authentication certificate. And if I double click on this, go to details, you will see here CN name is the host name of the system. So this is good. Now, since I have restarted this machine, this is good. And domain controller I have not restarted. So if I go now on MMC, oops, if I open now MMC and go here and add snipping and go to certificates, computer, click OK, OK. So if I see here, I don't have server authentication certificate, so I'll go ahead and enroll here. So to do this, all tasks, request a certificate, and click next, and then you will see Active Directory enrollment, and click next. And this is of my certificate WinRM SSL, so enroll, and I got successfully enrolled. So now you will see this certificate is issued, and this is server authentication. So this is very simple. So now we got the certificates. So now if I want to validate on my CA, I can go here and I can go and issue certificate. You will see here all the certificate which is issued by this certificate authority. So once one certificate I got for WinRM, I got three certificates because I got total three servers. So this is good. We are getting the certificate from certificate authority, which is our first GPO, which we did through this. Through WinRM-SSL. So if I want to just validate few things, so if I go here and run gp update slash force, so now the next thing is I want to verify that my uh, WinRM is listening on HTTPS. So before it was listening on this thing HTTP. Now if I go and run this command, so I'll go ahead and check the listener configuration for WMI. So you will see this is still listening on HTTP only. Let me run here one more time gp update slash source and see if it's working or not. So certificate wise, we have already validated certificate. We got the certificate. So GP is updated. Now, if I click here, you will see HTTPS is now listening and the host name and the certificate thumbprint. So these all look good now. So now if we want to see the remote connection, what we can do, or we can test the remote connection over the um, WinRM connection basically, or you can say PowerShell remote connection to use SSL. So I'll go ahead and type here enter PS session, PS session. So computer name, I'm going to type I hosting win2k 22 vac dot labs and com dot lan hyphen use SSL. So now I'm not going to pass my credential here. It does not require basically username or password to authenticate since we are using SSL to authenticate. So you will see we have successfully connected now. So this is good. Now if I want to see get net uh, net TCP connection state, let's say established. So it will show me all the connections. So if you see here, so this is my WAC computer is going to be local because I'm running this command on this Slack computer. So this is local command, local server, and this is my remote server, which is my Active Directory domain controller. And you can see the port number. I'm connected with the 5986, which is my um, WinRM over TCP port. So this is good. So we have connected and tested everything. So basically, this is how you can configure your WinRM over HTTPS on Windows Server. So in next video, I'm going to show you how you can leverage this WinRM over HTTPS to configure your Windows Admin Center, which is WAC server in my environment. So stay tuned and thank you for watching. Please subscribe me for more videos. And if you have any query, any question related to this, you can always post me in my given mail IDs. Thank you once again. Bye bye.